Hello, my lovely students. Welcome to StudyWave Academy, where education is without limits. Now we are continuing to look at the kindergarten work of social habits. We are still talking about social habits, and this is the kindergarten work where our main focus is Nigeria, my country. And we've looked at the location of Nigeria, where it is found. We've looked at the location, other countries bordering Nigeria. We've also looked at the flag of Nigeria. We've talked about the symbolic meaning of the flag and what the flag entails and why the flag is important to the people of Nigeria. And now we continue to look at the holders of positions in Nigeria. And our first holder of position is the president, where we're talking about the president, and now we are looking at the different responsibilities the president have. And now I'm going to continue talking about his other responsibilities, like foreign affairs. So the president engages in international foreign affairs. So for example, other countries need to sell things to Nigeria, or for example, Nigeria wants to sell other things to other countries. Now the president is the one who will represent Nigeria on such global stages. So they will be there to conduct such meetings or attend such meetings where they represent Nigeria, okay? Another responsibility is judicial role. The president has the power to grant pardon and clemency and can also appoint judges to the highest courts, subject to approve by the National Assembly. Now, all I'm just trying to say and show you students that the president is like the overall leader of the country, and he has a lot of power with him, whereby he can choose to also appoint judges. He can choose to appoint members of the government like ambassadors. So he can take the judicial role where he can grant pardons and also can appoint judges to the highest courts. He can be able to do this. Another role is national unity. The president works to foster national unity, promote peace, and address social and cultural issues that affect the country cohesion. Now, the president is in charge of national unity. He has to make sure that there is peace in the entire country, that people are okay, people are living in peace, and people are working together to achieve a desired goal. Now, this is one importance of the president and why the president is important. And like he fosters the national unity, make sure that the entire Nigeria is at peace and that people are working in peace and people are together. Look at other last responsibilities before we move on. Okay, so the public relations. The president communicates with Nigerian people, addresses their concerns, and provides leadership during time of crisis. Now, when there's maybe hunger in the country, or there are things that are going on bad in the country, the president addresses these concerns. Now, if people are protesting that they want the price of commodities to go down, that the life is expensive, the president will come forward and address people's concerns, whereby he will provide leadership. He will provide leadership qualities during time of crisis. When people are not okay or when people are not safe, the president will come forward and address the people's challenges and tell the people how they will go ahead and create peace and become a good country, whereby he will try solve their problem. Now, the president is in charge of communicating with Nigerian people. So, for example, when something bad has happened in the country, or people have been hurt, or a certain bad thing has happened in the country, the president will address this issue to the people and tell the people to be, they will be okay and things will go on well. Another one is crisis response. The president responds to emergencies, natural disaster, and security threats, coordinating efforts to protect the population. So, for example, maybe some bad people have killed many people, or bad people have gone to a country and started stealing from people, the president will respond to this. He will order the forces or the army to find these people who are making people's life a living hell, okay? So one responsibility of the president is to talk during the time of crisis and make sure that people are okay, provides people peace, and make sure people are living in peace and enjoying their country and they're comfortable. So those are some of the responsibilities of the President of America, President of Nigeria, sorry. I brought in America because I want to give an example. So for example, when I talked about foreign affairs, for example, America wants Nigeria to sell some of their beautiful natural resources to them. Now, the President of America and the President of Nigeria will come together and talk about these issues, or talk about how to go about such businesses and help each country grow. So now the President of Nigeria is responsible for going out there, addressing these public affairs or these foreign affairs, whereby he's representing the country with other presidents and coming together to like make sure the country is also having partnerships with other countries. Now those are some of few responsibilities of the president. Now let's look at another position where we're going to look at the vice president. The vice president. Now, after the president, we have the vice president. He is the second highest executive officer in Nigeria and assists the president in various capacities. Now, I talked about the president being the ultimate leader, like the first one in the leading leadership positions. We have the president first. Then after the president, we now come to look at the vice president, and is the second after the president. So class, I've talked about the president. Then after the president, we have the vice president. Okay, so with the vice president, he supports the president in executing their duties and may stand in for the president in their absence. They often have specific portfolios such as overseeing economic matters, and they serve as a member of Federal Executive Council. Now, the vice president here is just like the help of the president. For example, when the president is out of the country and it has gone to like solve other foreign affairs, who will be left to look at the country now? It's the vice president. Now the vice president steps in when the president is absent. When the president has gone to solve other issues or deal with other international affairs, the vice president now remains to take care of the country. And now he is there to lead the country instead of the president, okay? So it's just, in the absence of the president, the vice president takes care of the country and just leads the country as they wait for the president. So sometimes even the president might fall sick and may fail to lead for a while. So now here is where, again, the vice president is important, where the vice president comes in to take responsibility and support the president in executing some of the tasks or duty that they both have. Okay, class? Now let's look at responsibilities of the vice president. I'm going to be talking about the responsibility of the vice president, and I have several for you here because I want you to understand them. I want you to understand what the vice president does. So I have various examples here of their responsibility. So the first responsibility I want us to look at is that supporting the president. I've talked about this. So the president, the vice president, and the president work hand in hand, whereby the vice president supports the president in his primary role to assist and support him in executing some duties and responsibilities. So the vice president is the second highest executive officer. So he works hand in hand with the president. He helps the president execute his roles and like make sure that all the president is supposed to do has been done. So he is like a helper to the president, okay? So he supports. So one important thing about the vice president is that he supports the president. Another responsibility is presidential standing. In the absence of the president, whether due to official duties or temporary incapacity, the vice president may assume the role of the acting president and perform the president duties. I gave an example here when I was introducing the vice president. So, for example, the president has gone or has traveled to another country for some international issues or to represent the country. Now, the person who will remain behind to assume the president role or act as the current president as we await the president is the vice president. So he stands in for the president when the president is away. And for example, if the president is sick, who stands in for the president? Again, it's the vice president who comes in and stands in for the president so that he can act as a president as the main president gets to get well or is being treated. Okay, class? So these are two main responsibilities, but we have other main responsibilities and we are going to look at each one of them. Do not be afraid. Other responsibilities is specific portfolios. The vice president often has specific responsibilities or portfolios assigned to the president, assigned by the president. This can include overseeing economic matters, social programs, or other areas in the national importance. Okay, other areas of the national importance. So the vice president might be told by the president that I want you to help me look at specifically the economic matters. People are complaining maybe about high rates of oil or there's increased price rates. So I want you to look into that matter and help solve the matter. So this is an assignment given to the vice president by the president. So the president has told him to specifically look into the matter of the economic development of the country. So this is another responsibility where it can be assigned a specific task by the president. Another responsibility is member of the Federal Executive Council. The vice president is a member of the Federal Executive Council, the highest executive body in Nigeria. In the meetings, they contribute to the policy discussions and decisions. So the vice president is a member of this federal executive community, and this federal executive community is also a high body in Nigeria because they contribute in making decisions and policy discussions where they discuss the policy of the country and they make decisions. Maybe if they want to lower the prices of oil or lower the prices of food, they will discuss these matters in this sector. Okay, so that is one responsibility of the vice president. Another responsibility is representing the president. So the vice president may represent the president at the official functions, meetings, and ceremonies required. So vice versa, like I said, when there's like international matters, the president has to go and leave the vice president to take care of the country. But sometimes you find that the president might not be available to attend to many events at the same time. So the vice president will come in, or the vice president will hop in and now stand in for the president, where he will represent the president in these matters. So in cases where the president can't attend functions, the vice president will be there to attend them and make sure that he's attended each function. Okay, class? So this is one responsibility of the vice president. He represents the president too. Another responsibility is engaging with the state government. Engaging with the state government. The vice president collaborates with the state government and other officials to coordinate federal state government efforts, fostering unity and development. Now, the vice president works with the governors. We will also discuss this. I will tell you about the governors too. Do not worry or do not feel pressured. We will talk about the governors too. So you will understand who the governors are and what they do. So another responsibility of the vice president is that they work with the governors and other officials to coordinate the government, the federal government efforts. Okay, they provide unity and development.